So let me ask you all a question. Do you relate being healthy synonymous with being slim or skinny? If so, I'd like to challenge your thinking on that. We're going to be talking about the difference between visceral fat and subcutaneous fat and how the two differences might be affecting your health positively or negatively. So make sure you stay tuned. Coming up next. Maybe you're the person that doesn't know the difference between visceral fat and subcutaneous fat, and you're like, what the heck are these terms? I've never heard of it. Basically, in its simplified terms, it's the difference between that jiggly fat that you can grab onto, or the visceral fat, which basically is fat that grows around your organs, your heart, your liver, your muscle, and etc. Another way that you can think about this is subcutaneous fat stores fat in the regions around your hips and your thighs, giving you more of a pear-shaped body type. Whereas the visceral fat's going to store more fat around the midsection, giving you that apple-shaped body type. Now you might be the person that has a lot of the jiggly fat around the hips and the thighs, and it's more visible, but what I'd like to tell you is it's actually more healthier to have that type of fat than the visceral fat that's around your organs, and we're going to kind of dive into why that is. So you might be the person that really hates the visibility of that fat, but you're actually in a better position than the person that looks slim or that looks skinny. Another term for that is called skinny fat. It's basically where they look slim, but they got a huge body fat percentage. So if you were to measure their body fat percentage, and I have a lot of clients that I have done this over the years, man, they don't look like they have hardly any fat around their whole body. And you look at them and they got like 40, upwards to 50% body fat, and you're like, holy cow, how is this possible? The difference is that they don't have a lot of muscle mass to begin with, so they can often look very bony, and the fat that they do have is stored around the visceral area. That means it's actually storing fat around your organs, your intestines, your heart. All your main organs have that fat that's growing around it. And believe it or not, the visceral fat actually makes you way more susceptible for chronic diseases, insulin resistance, and a whole host of all kinds of different problems. Now there's a couple main reasons why visceral fat affects your metabolism and your health in such a negative way. I'll go ahead and put some of the research papers in the show notes below, as well as some of the videos that I've talked about with insulin resistance in the past. We'll go ahead and add those as well too. So make sure you check those videos out. Let's dive into the first reason to how visceral fat affects your metabolism so negatively. First and foremost, visceral fat causes your body to be dramatically more insulin resistant than what it otherwise would have been. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos in the past talk about what insulin resistance is, essentially when you're in that state, not only do you not burn carbohydrates very well, but you're also not able to burn fat very well as well because of the inflammation. Normally when you're insulin resistant, it correlates very well with inflammation. What's going to happen is because all the organs aren't getting sufficient energy, they're not going to be able to work properly like they should, and it's going to affect your entire metabolism. Secondly, like I said, insulin resistance correlates with inflammation. The fat cells start to get enlarged, and then what happens when the fat cells start to get enlarged, they leak and spill over. And then the liver has to do all the cleanup. It causes a lot of dysfunction also with the liver. And if the liver does about 500 different functions, which all this causes more inflammation. You can see it's kind of like a vicious cycle. So you might be asking yourself, what actually causes the visceral fat to accumulate in the first place? And that's a great question. Here's the thing, a lot of it just comes back to these lifestyle factors that I talk about all the time. You probably get sick of me talking about it, but it's your nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, and toxins. More importantly though, it's this highly processed carbohydrate style of dieting that we have in America. It's really driving a lot of the insulin resistance, and it's also known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So essentially it's really tied back to a lot of this high carbohydrate, low fat type diet, and we want to be able to change that. And one of the things that you can do is start to implement more of a higher fat ketogenic style diet. It's going to lower the inflammation in your body. It's going to be able to lower insulin resistance. So this is something why I really highly recommend people utilizing a ketogenic style diet for a lot of these reasons. Insulin, like I said on other videos, is kind of like the quarterback of the hormones. And so a lot of the other hormones are getting their cues from what insulin and blood sugar are doing in the body. So if you can start to regulate blood sugar by building muscle, changing your diet up, affecting different lifestyle factors like getting better sleep and eliminating stress and toxins. These are all going to really benefit and lower the inflammation in the body, helping you to overall become more healthy. And you've also heard me talk about the main priority should be, and the object should be, to get healthy, and the byproduct of that is that you're going to be able to lose weight, you're going to be able to gain muscle, you're going to have more energy, and overall you're going to be able to prevent chronic disease. So with that said, guys, I hope this information in terms of understanding your visceral fat versus subcutaneous fat, although subcutaneous fat isn't as dangerous, it still comes with its problems and it's problematic for your overall health. So we definitely want to get rid of that. And I know you guys want to look good and feel good too. So with that said, guys, hope you have a great day. If you guys like this information, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. We love you guys. God bless. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later, and peace.